It was just 2 months ago that history was made at Power Slap 1. The first ever champions were crowned, and now 3 of them set to defend their titles right here in Las Vegas. Middleweight champion John the Machine Davis, more than ready to defend his strap. And how about this guy? AJ Hintz proved in March that he is already one of the best slappers in the entire world. And it's back-to-back main events for the heavyweight king. Of course, I'm talking about Wolverine. And it is my pleasure to be joined in our slap studios by Minty Betts, our Power Slap betting expert and former UFC welterweight Alan Jouban. It's coming up, guys. It's coming up really, really soon. Wednesday, the 24th of this month, live and free on Rumble at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's so easy to find. You can download the Rumble app. You can go to rumble.com. You scroll to the top of the page. You find the Power Slap logo. You scroll down. You click on the button, and you are ready to go. It's live. It's free. It's just like YouTube. You sign up to get the membership, and you can watch Power Slap 2. And the best part about it, just like the UFC, just like all the major sports leagues, you can bet on Power Slap and win yourself some money, Minty.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw in the main card for Power Slap 1, big dogs cashed in for us. The Wolverine plus 250 over Darius the Destroyer, and AJ Hintz plus 275 over Vern Cathy. Let's just say if you parlayed these two, you would have been a very happy bettor after Power Slap 1.
Yeah, I would say so. Power Slap 1, super energy in this building, due in large part, Alan, to the unpredictable nature of this sport.
Very unpredictable, right? You don't know what's going to happen when a lot of two big men get up there with a lot of power. But it's the unpredictable knockouts that the fans seem to love. That's what they come back for. You see some of the celebrities coming out, Mark Wahlberg, Hasbulla, and then we even have some of the UFC guys making that crossover, the transition come. Michael Chandler could not stay in his seat during some of those knockouts last season.
Yeah, he was loving it. Of course, it's going to be starting at 9 p.m. on Rumble. Let's take a look at the main card. It is absolutely stacked. How about super heavyweight monsters for the first time? The Hawaiian Hitman, Dane Vierna, is taking on Slap for Cash, the social media sensation. Both of these guys tipping the scales at 400 pounds. John the Machine Davis taking on Wesley Drain for the middleweight title. AJ Hintz, keep your eye on this guy. He's special against Russell Rivero, who looks like he's chiseled out of granite. And then the heavyweight title. Can Wolverine do it again against his former assistant coach, DeBell, defending his title for the first time as Wolverine after that huge upset of Darius the Destroyer at Power Slap 1.
It was a huge upset because he had lost to the Destroyer 3 times previously. The only man to have ever beaten Wolverine. He got his redemption back. You could see this huge knockout. What did he do? He added size. Danny put on 25, 30 pounds to back up that power. Now he has the power to reinforce it. He already had a solid chin. The man in 15 fights has never been knocked out. He relies on that chin, and now he has the power to back it up.
And he's facing his former assistant coach. Imagine Bill Belichick getting ready to slap Josh McDaniel back in the day. I mean, this is crazy. These guys are buddies.
I love the football references. You see these guys. He's a huge man. You see that huge windup that he has. That's how he gets the job done a lot of times. This man has a 78-inch reach. So to put that in perspective, he's 250 pounds, 78-inch reach. That's in UFC terms like a Derek Lewis, like a Jardinho Rosenstruck. So you see where the power comes from. He's a big guy. He knows how to slap hard. And he's a young guy, too. He's only got 4 or 5 competitions. He hasn't taken a lot of wear and tear in the chin, so he's fresh out the gates.
Yeah, you have one guy who's the wily veteran, very experienced, going against the other guy who has supreme power in DeBell.
Yeah, absolutely. DeBell is impressive. I mean, he's got a lot to prove because, as you guys mentioned, he served as the assistant coach for Wolverine. Now facing him, I mean, a lot is expected from him. And as for Wolverine, he's riding that high off of defeating his kryptonite finally in Power Slap 1. So this is a highly anticipated matchup.
Well, we know the coin toss is important, but it's not everything. In Power Slap so far, we've had 70 matches. 52% of the time, the winners of the coin toss have gone on to win the fight. So it's basically 50-50. 19% of the matches have ended in a first-round KO by the coin toss winner. So we know the odds makers are looking at the coin toss winner, which in this case is DeBell. He wins, so he's a minus 186 favorite, but there's really a whole lot more to who wins the fight than just the coin toss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the lines swing like crazy after the coin toss result, but obviously you want to win the coin toss, but it is not everything. In fact, 3 of our current title holders lost the coin toss and ended up winning the match. So this is a great opportunity to make some money on the dogs.
All right, you can bet on Power Slap, as I mentioned. If you're here in Las Vegas, just go to your local casino. You can also bet online, stations, casinos, DraftKings, or your favorite sports book. You're going to want to do that, especially for the main event. Is it going to be Wolverine, or is it going to be his former assistant coach, the future lawyer, Damien DeBell, Minty?
Well, I mean, DeBell has such impressive force, great defense. I mean, both of these guys have force and very strong chins to last a full 5 rounds. This is a perfect example of the coin toss affecting the line here. I mean, you're making the current champ an underdog. I like the Wolverine to successfully defend his belt, and especially for plus money, that's great value.
I like that pick as well. I have to agree with her on that one. Although I was building up DeBell, and I think he's something that could be very special as a young guy with a tremendous amount of reach. The fact that Wolverine in 15 bouts has never been knocked out, it shows that he's got that sustainability to take the shots. And now with the added size, he can deliver them as well. I'm going Wolverine.
You know the crazy thing about Wolverine, too, that he told me before his last fight? He's never even taken a step back when he's been struck before.
Wow.
I mean, the chin is serious on Wolverine. All right, let's talk about our co-main event, AJ Hintz and Russell Rivero. The coin toss already happened for this one as well. Russell Rivero did not get a chance to strike the last time they faced, so he desperately wanted to win this coin toss. AJ wins the toss again, and this guy is different. A massive impact on the odds in this fight in particular. Minty.
Yeah, Dan, absolutely. So AJ Hintz was going to be the favorite regardless of the result of the coin toss. But if Rivero had won the coin toss, Hintz's odds would have been slashed in half at minus 150. Now because he won, he's over a $3 favorite here. So,
yeah, that's pretty large in the Power Slap, especially at this point. All right, let's talk about AJ Hintz. I've talked about how he has the potential to be one of the best slappers in the world, and it's due in part not just to his power, but the neck strength, and we saw that in full effect against Vern Cathy in his last fight.
Tremendous neck strength that AJ has. He has the strongest neck strength out of anyone in this competition, and that's something that's very important in a sport like this. You could have a granite chin, but if you have a pencil neck, it doesn't do much good for you. He's got a granite neck. He's got a solid neck. He could take shots. And we talk about the power that he has. He's a guy that said, look, he's been fighting his entire life. He grew up in a town where he was kind of an outcast. He was a headbanger, skateboarder type kid, got picked on, had this fight his entire life. But there's something in him, Dan. I see the power, and he's got great defense that he'd be something special in this sport.
Russell Rivero put in a full day's work in his last fight, pulling out the victory in the 3rd round. This guy's no joke either.
No joke at all. Look at the physicality of Russell Rivero. You see how he dips his body, puts his legs into it, has a massive windup, a very strong frame. I think you said, Dan, this guy benches around 420. Pretty damn impressive. He uses that power very well in slap.
420. I mean, process that for a moment. The super heavyweights weigh 400 pounds. Russell Rivero could bench press one of those dudes. And he's been working on technique a lot. And he really, since the first time they fought, I feel like he's come a long way. It was in the Slap Mansion. Russell Rivero, AJ Hintz faced off. AJ Hintz won the coin toss. He went first. He has the massive power, and he took care of business in this one out.
Yeah, I mean, he looked tremendous in this one. This is a fight that Rivero cannot make any mistakes because he can't afford. You can see right there, there's flinching. And when you get fouled like that, you get another strike. You cannot afford to get hit again by somebody with the power of Hintz. He made that mistake. Russell Rivero in this matchup, Dan, cannot make any mistakes. He needs to be able to take the shot, not flinch, not roll with it. He can't afford to get hit twice.
That's the biggest penalty, I think, in sports. I mean, basically, you get 2 for flinching, right? That's a big deal. You
Huge penalty.
You can't have those penalties, and he paid for it in that match.
Yeah, absolutely. So for my pick here, I mean, this one is my favorite matchup on the entire card because of this bad blood, because of the history between these two. Russell is a really strong guy, as we mentioned, but I do not believe his defense will hold up against AJ Hintz. I mean, that win against Vern Cathy from AJ Hintz, that really solidified how impressive this guy really is. So, my opinion, AJ Hintz is hands down the most exciting slapper in the league here. So we're going to go AJ Hintz to win.
I'm like, okay, maybe we're on the same track.
Seriously, every fight, Jouban?
When you see something good, you can't deny it. I got to go with AJ. There's something special about him. And again, I'm a neck guy. I appreciate, a well-formed neck. The guy's got the strongest neck in the competition. That means he has one of the best defenses in the competition. He's the full package right here. I'm going AJ.
He's just built different. And pound for pound, he could be one of the best slap fighters in the entire world already. AJ Hintz he's a star on the rise. I'm telling you, keep your eye on that. You also might want to keep your eye on John the Machine Davis defending his belt against Oklahoma's Wesley Drain. This is going to be our third title fight of the night. What do you see in the Machine? The welder from Ohio, John Davis.
In Power Slap 1, John Davis closed as a slight favorite against Aziel Rodriguez, and that matchup had the tightest odds of any on that main card. Now John is riding the momentum of finally getting that knockout win against Rodriguez and became Power Slap's first ever middleweight champion. Machine has got a phenomenal chin and has proved to us that he has the knockout capabilities. I cannot wait to see what he has in store for us for Power Slap 2.
And Drain coming after that strap after that split decision win back in March, Allen.
All the smoke, Wesley Drain coming for right here. Look, this is a guy that has battled with a lot of injuries, been through a lot, 2-3 records, but it doesn't really tell the full story. He's a guy that I said had injuries. You saw the huge hematoma that kind of went viral, but he still was able to battle through that one and fight through it. Some of his injuries has afforded him. He had to strike with the weak side hand. If you can imagine, if you're an arm wrestler having to use the opposite hand or use a different arm on any type of sport, he's had to battle through that. He's looking for some redemption in this matchup.
Yeah, huge disadvantage when you have to use your offhand in this sport. Drain, by the way, wins the toss. He's a minus 122 favorite. Davis plus 122 in this one. Brings us to our predictions. John Davis, Wesley Drain. Minty, who do you like?
Now, if we look at the numbers, Wesley is slightly weaker in neck strength and power, just slightly. And I can see this one going to decision with John Davis coming out on top again, the current champion at plus money. Yeah, give me John Davis to win.
Okay, there's a bit of a pattern here. I can't help it, but I'm on the same train right here. The Machine, John Davis, he's a blue-collar guy, former Marine, but he's fifth in the house in all-time power. He's got the power to back things up. I'm going with finish by Davis.
How about a couple of super heavyweights to open up the main card? I'm talking about guys who weigh 400 pounds. The Hawaiian Hitman, Dane Vierna, is taking on Slap for Cash. Here's the coin toss here. Slap for Cash wins it, but he's still a plus 150 dog. Vierna is at minus 150, so he's the favorite. The only coin toss winner who is a dog in this one is Slap for Cash. They say the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So this is going to be an interesting one here. What can you tell me about the Hawaiian Hitman, Dane?
The Hawaiian Hitman, man. Hey, you say size doesn't always matter. Size matters in this matchup, baby. 2 400-pounders that lay down the power. You see him right here. That face that he's making right there while he's putting the chalk on his hands, the power on his hand, the powder on his hands. That's the face he makes when he receives a slap. I've seen this guy take slaps from huge men, and he smiles in their face and then screams back at him. He's an aggressive striker with offense and defense on both sides of it.
We've seen Slap for Cash all over the internet. Heck, he has 1 million followers on Instagram now.
He's a viral star. You've seen him mix it up with guys like Logan Paul. He's another huge man, Dan. 400 pounds. You see the size. I think he's putting on some size since we shot this promo of him, but he's a big man, and he's done this for a while. Slap for Cash, he would pay guys to want to slap against him. They would pay him. I don't know the whole story, but I know that he said in the streets, he's knocked out at least 30 people doing this. He's got a lot of experience and a lot of power to back it up.
So, Al, when you have 2 400-pounders, you have to have 2 other big dudes up there to catch them, right? How about 2 of the world's strongest men going to be up there at the same time in the Power Slap arena? I'm talking about Evan Singleton and Trey Mitchell. They both finished in the top 5 of the World's Strongest Man contest. So that's 1,600 pounds between these 4 guys up there all at the same time. I cannot wait for the first ever super heavyweight matchup coming up on the 24th on Rumble. Prediction time. Who do you like in this one, Minty?
Okay, first of all, I absolutely love the idea of this super heavyweight matchup. It's going to be incredibly entertaining. Now, obviously, both of these men, very large hands, lots of power to go with it. But I fear that slap for cash, since he hasn't been in this league, he's more prone to commit some fouls here and there. So I really love the value you're getting on the Hawaiian Hitman. So give me Dane Viernes to win at -150.
I'm going to second that. The Hawaiian Hitman, massive individual, 400 pounds. He's got huge power. And again, he showed me in his previous bouts, he could take a lot of strikes. He could take damage very well, smiles in your face. I'm going the Hawaiian Hitman, Dan.
All right, so slap for cash, the only guy who won the toss on the main card and is a dog on the 24th. Going to be interesting to see if that changes by the time we get to that match. All right, 5 fights on the prelim card, and we have a couple with some familiar names. Let's start with Darius the Destroyer, a perfect 17-0. He did win the toss in this one. Perfect 17-0 before he lost to Wolverine, taking on Dorian Perez, who's looking to stay undefeated. Who do you like in this one, Minty?
Well, the Destroyer has a very durable chin, tons of strength in his hands to go with it. This is his redemption shot, but the way that Dorian winds up for the slap just looks like game over. This is Dorian's opportunity to go 4-0 and become a household name in the power slap heavyweight division. So I'm going with Dorian Perez to win.
Well, she took all of my bullet points and used them against me. But I'm going with the Destroyer. You said it. He's got power. He's got defense. He's the guy that feels like he was a pioneer of this sport. And you said the key word right there, redemption. He's looking for a redemption. He wants that belt around his waist. I'm going to Destroyer.
All right, welterweight, we have the #1 contender against the #2 contender. It's the insurance salesman Waylon Frost taking on Jesus Gaspar Diaz, who has deceptive power.
Yes, Jesus Gaspar Diaz, always the underdog, but he's got some impressive wins, and his strong chin is what helped carry him to those impressive wins. Now, Waylon Frost has force and can take some really violent slaps. I like this to go to decision, but honestly, I'm going to go with the dog here. Numbers tell me that Jesus is stronger and will come in stronger here, so give me Jesus Gaspar Diaz as my underdog pick for this one as well.
I'm going the other way. I'm going ice cold, baby. Ice cold. Look, the way that he kind of rolls with the strikes but doesn't commit a foul, I like the way that he's able to absorb damage that way and still keeping it clean. But also the way that he got past Slap Jesus. It was an impressive performance right there. That puts me looking to see him to win. So I'm going with Waylon Ice Cold Frost.
Frost, a -150 favorite going into the 24th. Remember that you can bet on Power Slap too. Just go into your local casino here in Nevada. You can bet online, Stations Casinos, DraftKings, any sports book that you bet through, you will be able to bet through on Power Slap too. And it's coming up, of course, on the 24th on Rumble. Download the app. You can go to rumble.com. And I can guarantee, Alan, you're going to be entertained.
You're going to be entertained. Listen, you've got 3 title belts on the line, the best power slappers in the world. And when the main card kicks off, you got 800 pounds of hard hitters standing on that stage. Make sure and tune in.
And it's all coming up Wednesday, May 24th, live and free on Rumble. For Alan Jouban and Minty Bets, I'm Dan Hellie. It is so easy. Go to Rumble, click on Power Slap, scroll down. It's live on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, just like YouTube. So easy to use. Charlie Arnold, Michael Bisping, myself, Justin Bernard, going to be here calling the action on Wednesday the 24th. Do yourself a favor. Log on to Rumble right now. Download the app. Get yourself ready to go for Wednesday.